Hello?
Have you checked the children?
And then you walk round to the side window and there'll be a section. The films I've done before have been big action adventure or dramas that shoot for 100 days in deserts and jungles and all over the world. And a lot of the time it's more like an expedition and how to get through it and how to just get the movie to the end of it, really, in one piece. And this felt much more sophisticated in a way because with just a very few elements, I could spend every day just working a very fine, detailed kind of craft. And so that's what attracted me to it. And it seems like it was definitely a thriller and not a horror movie. And I'm not particularly attracted to a lot of horror films, but thrillers I love. And I think they're smart and clever, and it gives you a chance to really manipulate the audience in subtle ways rather than just real shock value all the time. And everything in this story is real, and it could happen to everybody. And most of the situations we've all been in, we've been in a big empty house at night and got nervous and heard noises, and usually it's in our imagination, it's perfectly safe, but of course in this movie it isn't.
I'm not a big fan of films that are frightening sort of physically, like if there's something frightening to look at, I don't like. Right, gore, I don't like that at all, and I don't like those type of films, and that's what kind of drew me to this, because it's not like that, it's more psychological.
I think a good horror film or a good thriller is a morality play. It's something we can put our fingers on. It's very tangible. There is good and there is bad. And we all relate to the good, and we're all frightened of bad, whatever that might be, whatever the metaphor is in your life at that time. And I think that it's a good old-fashioned simple morality play. And I think we really respond to that. And I think when they're done well, they're grounded in the banality of life. And that is someone, drops a penny in the next room, we're not aware of it, we jump. And I think that there's a million ways to be frightened in your daily life rather than a guy running out with an axe, and a head in his hands.
It's all in the audience's imagination, really, a lot of what goes on. And that's the scariest element, is the audience's imagination. And that's the trick, is to manipulate the audience into using their own brain to scare themselves, rather than putting a lot of stuff on the screen that's obvious and they'll think it's a cartoon or switch off.
I mean, it might be just a good escape, from real life. You go and you're experiencing something to an extreme, and you get frightened. Just like a really sad movie, you feel like just one of those down days, just feel like crying. Then you go and see a film, it's just kind of an escape to experience something emotionally to an extreme. So I think, it's a fun feeling. Now that I've started doing this, and before I filmed this movie, I was watching, like Hitchcock and Rosemary's Baby, sort of scary movie, but the good ones. And I actually really enjoyed being scared. I liked it but they're good, really quality, good thrillers. And so it's just an enjoyable feeling. You walk away and you look outside, it's pretty LA weather, and then everything's fine, and you kind of come back to reality, and you realize life is really good. Nothing to be scared about for the time being.
There's two main characters, or maybe three main characters in this film. There's the house, the babysitter, and the telephone. And so you've just got to make sure, or I set myself the task of making sure all those elements were the most interesting versions possible. So I went for the most interesting type of house possible, try to get away from the cliched haunted house, spooky house thing you've seen a million times, the Gothic, Victorian, American classic, whatever, and went for a very modern house. Even though it's dark and spooky, it's very modern and beautifully designed, and you don't normally get that in these kind of thrillers.
But it wasn't until we finally found a writer who shared the same vision that Clint and I had, that the house became as important as it did.
Hi, I'm the babysitter.
Oh, right, yes. Come in. first thing that we had to do was try to find the house, because we only had 10 weeks prep on the film. So we had basically 2 weeks to find the house so that we'd have 8 weeks to build it. And we didn't want to rush the process because we wanted to find something we all really liked, but we had to rush it. So it started with me hiring John Gary Steele, the production designer, and a location manager. And normally you hire the production designer first, then the location manager, but I hired the location manager first so that he could start just scouting everything. And then we kind of got an idea of what Simon was looking for, and Gary came up with the idea of the kind of the 1970s wood and glass houses theme.
Well, of course, we build study models to begin with, and then we build a bigger model when we fine-tune the floor plan. Then we will bring in a little camera and let the DP and the director kind of look through the model, and we can show them, look through here, you're going to see that we can shoot through the staircase onto what's going on in the room beyond, in the koi pond with birds and fish. It's like working out a puzzle.
The house is a character in this movie. It's a beautiful house. It's a craftsman design house. There's a lot of glass in the house, but it's out in the woods. And at night, as the sun sets, it can become very, very, very spooky.
Well, I was just in awe when I walked into the house. I saw the house sort of slowly come together because I was training here in the gym. So it's like, came in the very beginning stages. It was just wood and nothing. The whole house wasn't built yet. And then each week I came in and looked at it a bit more with Simon. We walked around the house, and finally when it was done with the furniture, it's just incredible. It's beautiful. I mean, it's just stunning, and they've done such a wonderful job with it. And it's great to sit in here. I kind of wander around by myself upstairs in the kids' room when it's empty and dark, and it's pretty spooky. It's with all the glass, it's just all the reflections, and anyone could be looking in from outside if it wasn't on stage 16. If it was out in the middle of the woods, anybody could peek in and see what you're doing. So it's pretty spooky.
Stop calling me, you
Listen to me. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Then the other main character, of course, is the babysitter, and so I knew I had to get an actress that had the ability to convey all the elements in this film that you need, which is innocence. She's 16 years old. She's just a girl on the verge of maturity, but still very much innocent, young high school babysitter. But on the other hand, she's then got to step up and fight for her life and beat the bad guy and survive, and with not very much dialogue either. So I needed an actress that could convey this huge arc from happy-go-lucky teenager to absolutely terrified, traumatized person, mostly in expressions and facial expressions, and without using dialogue as a fallback. And so it was very hard to find the right kind of actress to do that. And so I went after Camilla Bell because I'd seen her previous work, and I just found that she was such a intelligent, mature actress beyond her years, but still had this very rare, innocent quality that a lot of teenagers don't have anymore.
This is really, it's very rare, I think, that one character is the film, along with a couple other things, but for the most part, this I think it's rare that a film has one character throughout the whole time going through all these emotions by themselves and reacting off the phone, reacting about noises in the house or something. I'm kind of, have to go along acting with myself, basically, and creating things in my mind, going crazy in my mind, trying to come up with different things that are happening around me. But it's the first time that I've had to really carry a film like this all by myself.
If you're not trying to scare me, what do you want?
Your blood all over me.
Well, to me, Camilla's more like a young Julia Roberts. She reminds me a lot when I first met Julia Roberts when she was just starting to do movies. She's a wonderful actress. She's really, really smart, and she's incredibly beautiful. And she's got a beautiful look that's distinctive. She's not, beauty queen beautiful. She's interesting beautiful, just like Julia was. I think that the reason she's going to break out in this movie is she's able to be every man or every woman. And then she's able to basically become this victim and handle it with aplomb and intelligence and dignity, but also at the same time be viscerally really, really, really scared. And she just is able to play all of those nuances and do them really, really well.
Well, I think that everybody's moved on and is much more sophisticated now, both men and women, boys and girls, and we expect more. Women expect more out of themselves and out of the characters they watch, and men are used to seeing, spunkier female leads now, and it's definitely one of the reasons I was attracted to her, because it's a strong female character that you don't often get in movies, and she is not a victim, and she has to use her brain and some of her brawn and just sheer animal instinct to get out of this situation.
She's an athlete, she's a runner, and that's her hobby, and I had training for the film with the coach, and for about a month before shooting, we're in the gym and on the track every week, and working out and learning how to run, and because I dance, I'm not athletic in that sense, so this is all brand new to me, going to the gym and running and working out. So I did that, and so she has that keeps her going. It's kind of her hobby. She's a pretty competitive runner, and she's pretty outgoing, has a boyfriend. There's the typical high school drama, like her friend cheated on her boyfriend with her and she caught them, and pretty much just a normal girl who gets put in a very, very strange and frightening situation.
It's not that she, turns into a dragon slayer, but rather that she ultimately realizes that she must take control of the situation, or she's going to be a victim.
I think that's what's alluring about the film. She's the perfect victim, and yet she's not, because as we uncover, she's a very, very smart girl. She's paying attention to every little nuance of this house.
And so we don't die because our babysitter is a great babysitter and just saves us from the stranger.
It's surviving on her own with her own strength. She's not using guns and everything. It's just herself and her mind. She's using her mind to kind of manipulate this person that keeps on calling and is driving her mad.
Why won't you answer me? I know you're there. I can hear you breathing.
The T-shirt was an issue. Was that one of the biggest decisions is what is she going to wear through this movie, because she's in the same outfit the whole time, and we did give her a jacket so at least she could arrive in a jacket and spend a few scenes in something different, and I kind of had to fight her to get it off as soon as possible so that we could get on with what her look was for most of the film.
I think everyone's kind of sick of it by now. After the first week, everyone's like, oh, nice outfit, I love it, so exciting. So it's been the same thing every day. It gets kind of boring, but then when I come to set my own clothes, I try to wear something different every day to mix it up a bit, because it can get kind of tiring.
Well, I've worked with children a lot, and I have my own children, and most actors are quite childlike anyway. So it's whatever age they are, it's usually pretty much the same techniques. It's just with children, it's all a big game to them. So you have to make it fun, and even if they're being scared, you have to make it fun that they're being scared. And children love to scare themselves. And so really with children, I just make it, their best day. So they want to come to work and they want to be in the scenes, and they get a lot of encouragement, and I help them, play act really, which is all that children want to do anyway.
We have to run away, and we have to hide a lot, and we have to be really, really scared, because we're left alone in the house with a babysitter.
The issue with this one, I suppose, is that they have to show terror in short bursts over many days. And so that's the challenge, is trying to get them to a place of high emotion many times a day over many days. But luckily, with the children I've chosen, they can access that very easily. They're very accomplished young actors. And so they've made my life, very easy in that regard.
I remembered from the original film that it was probably the scariest 25-minute beginning of a film that I can recall. And it was really creepy. It was creepy in a good way. Creepy and scary, not in the sense of a slasher horror film, but really in the sense of a classic thriller. The things you didn't see.
Tiffany, I know it's you. I can see your name on caller ID, genius.
This isn't Tiffany.
You know, I think it is the whole psychological stuff, because you get yourself, it's all internal, and you get yourself to think these things when you're watching it, and you don't really know what to expect. And I also think it's because it's young, it has young people in it, and it's very fresh. And I remember telling one of my good friends when I got it, she was like, "Oh, is that a remake of a movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I love that movie," so they're all really excited. I just think people can relate to babysitting and being scared and the whole freakiness of getting a phone call.
Prepare to be really scared and hug your mom as tightly as you can, because this movie is going to be really scary.
I think it's the most scary thing in the world not to know who's coming after you. And I've always been frustrated with suspense or thriller, whatever, when they let out too much too early. And it is all about suspense, and it's suspending the moment when you see what's coming for you. And the scariest thing is the unknown. And so if I'm hoping to have the unknown right to the very end, and still be satisfying. And you'll see glimpses of him, and you'll get an idea of him, but you don't know where he's from, what his character is, any backstory. He's just almost your worst nightmare, because he's just out there on the end of a telephone, and you know nothing about him.